Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend and you're ready for the week. I think you're going to like today's call. You should leave with a little a lighter step or a skip in your step when you get off. So we got a lot of good news going on. So here's what we want to talk about today. In January 1991, the American College and the Journal of American Society of CLUs and CHFCs began studying finance and aging, called Financial Gerontology. So they had their 25th anniversary, and they did a big comprehensive study for financial gerontology here in the last few months, and they came out with a lot of interesting information that I think is going to make you very, very happy. So it's their 25th year. They had this great survey. So are you ready for some good news? I want to hear some yays on this, because here's the thing: all we hear is it's the death of business as we know it. And you know what? I was afraid too. This whole DOL thing, guess what I thought? We're done. We're not going to be able to function going forward. And so as we looked at it, I had meeting after meeting after meeting with my my congressmen, my senators, and paid my dues to all the lobbying places. And it is going to change. Life is going to change. But as anything, life always changes, right? So let me ask you a question. So there's only 3 people who want good news. Okay, well then everybody else can get off the line, and I'll just talk to these 3 guys. Okay, now we're getting a lot. Thank you. So here's the thing. It's only, the big thing or big worry we had is with the insurance industry. How's it going to affect the insurance industry? And it ends up, it's going to affect the insurance industry, just like it's going to affect the securities industry, but not nearly as much as we thought it would. Now, here's the thing. Do you think commissions are going up or going down? Going up? Yeah, they're going to go down. But they might not go down as much as we thought they would go down, because as time goes on and as the DOL looks at it more and more and more, they see that commission is not necessarily the evil that they thought it was. So as I've gone and talked to different people that are in the fight with the DOL about how this is going to roll out here in 6 months from now, it ends up that they don't think commissions are nearly as evil as they thought it were when they rolled this out. So commissions are still going to be around. And again, we're going to have to do the BIC, but the BIC isn't going to be as a terrible. It's more paperwork. Who the heck likes more paperwork? But that's the life we live in. If you think about it, guys, how long has the insurance industry been around? How long has the insurance industry been around? Yeah, 300 years, in fact. Yep, Bruce got it, 300 plus years. So how many countries do insurance companies work in? How many countries do insurance companies work in? You don't need an exact number, but how many insurance companies do, how many countries do, yeah, in hundreds of countries. And do they all have the same rules and regulations and laws? And yet so how many changes have occurred in the last 300 years? How many different rule changes do all these countries have for insurance companies? And yet insurance companies always find a way to do what? Like them or hate them, what do insurance companies find a way to do? Yeah, survive, Barry, exactly. Stay in business, Steve. Adapt, Jerry, exactly. So they figure out a way now. So we're going to be able to continue but as anything, do car salespeople make as much commission as they used to? Do any salespeople make as much commission as they used to? No. So we know that commissions are going to go down, but there's a lot of good news happening that's going to really negate that. So if my son right now is in college, or he's a senior in college, and he wants to get into the business of being a financial advisor. So what do you think I've told him? What do you think I've told him? So he's looking to get in the business of being a financial advisor. What do you think I told him? Don't do it because the DOL. Don't do it because things are horrible. Don't do it because things are. That's right, Perry. It's a great time. That's right, Bruce. This is the best time in the world for him to get into being a financial advisor. This is the best time to get into being a financial advisor, and that's what I want to cover. We're actually, they always say it always gets darkest before the dawn. We're at This DOL thing really put us in the doldrums, and everybody's panicked. And again, guys, here's the thing: when you listen to the election news and you turn on CNN, you turn on Fox News, I mean, you turn on, what kind of news are they constantly reporting? How the candidates are going to make life better for everybody? Is that what they're reporting? Yeah, negative, negative, negative. So what's everybody reporting about the DOL? Negative, 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 because negative sells. But really, we are at the dawn of our business, if you're ready for it, if you're set up for it. And here's why. Here's why we're at the best time possible to be a financial advisor. And this is based on the financial gerontology, the study that they just finished, the financial gerontology study they just finished. First of all, we were talking here about a year ago about, oh my God, the money management robots are going to take over the world. What happened with them? Who's using financial robots? Who's using money management robots? Are they getting huge or are they flopping? They're flopping. People with very little money, that's who's using exactly. People with very little money, they're struggling. They're struggling. So here's the thing. I love getting in front of business people when they sell their businesses. Why? They're the easy business people who are just sold their business are the easiest people to sell. Why? That's right, Jonathan. They have big money and they don't know. They've never in their life had this huge chunk of money. $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, $15 million. See, they've been a business person. They've been, everything that they made, they put back in their business. Everything they made, they put back in their business. They never had this kind of huge chunk of money before. Now they have this huge chunk of money. And how much do they want? How much do they want to manage that themselves? Or is it freaking them out? Freaking them out. And here's the great thing about business people. They have been successful in business because they are awesome at reading people. They are awesome at using their gut reactions to know whether they can trust people or not. So when you meet with them and you're a trustworthy person, guess what they realize right away? They're great at ferreting out shysters. They're great at ferreting out people who are going to try to take advantage of them. So when they meet with you and with our 21 process, they immediately recognize you are the real thing. You are the person who's going to help them out. So they actually are very, very easy to bring on as a client because they recognize you as being trustworthy, and they don't want to be managing that themselves, so they give it to you without any words. And that's what we're happening with retirement. I don't care what happens out there. When somebody retires and they have this big chunk of money, and they're told, okay, it's yours to manage for the rest of your life, and you're going to see for all the reasons we talk about, it's going to freak them out because all the things we're going to talk about are going to get more press, and more and more press. And the more press they get, the more freaked out they're going to be about trying to manage this themselves because there's so many worries that they're going to have to deal with, so many left turns they're going to have to deal with, and that's going to be a difficult thing if they're not trained to do it. So the good news I'm going to show you is for you. It's not good news for the clients. Well, it's good news and bad news for the clients, and you're going to see a lot of it is both good and bad news for the client, but it's all good news for us if you know how to capitalize on it. But if all you're doing is selling investments, guess what? Should you be worried if all you're doing is selling investments? Yeah, you're going to be in huge trouble if all you're doing is selling investments. But for us, it's awesome, awesome news. So let's talk about it. So first of all, robots are dead. And they're certainly dead for somebody who's retired and is trying to figure out how to work through the maze I'm about to show you. So here's what the financial gerontology study found. The 65-plus population is aging. In 1990, it was 31 million, and it was 12% of the population. In 2015, it's 47 million and 15% of the population. 2040, it's going to be 82 million and 21% of the population. See, the young old is increasing. From 1990 to 2015, age 65 to 74 grew by 53%. 75 to 84 grew by only 39%. Because what we're seeing now is what chunk of the population is now moving into retirement. What chunk of population moving into retirement? We've been talking about boomers. That's right, Jeannie. Boomers, exactly, guys. Exactly. So this is good news. Why? Because the net growth in the 65 to 74 group is 9.6 million. It was 9.6 million people in 1990 and 18 million in 2015. What's good about that, guys? That's right, 10,000 people daily per period. So what's good about that, guys? Because this is our target market. 60, really less than that, 60 to 74-year-olds, that's our target market. That's right, there's more people to see. More people to see, an additional 9.1 million more people to see. Those are clients. They have money and they don't know what to do with it. And because so many of the things we're going to talk about today are hitting them and are getting news and they're being told about from all different news sources and media, they need help. So we've got 9.1 million people, but the news gets better. Why? Why do you think the news gets better? See if anybody can get this. Steve's got it. Cerulli and Associates, Global Analytics, what they've been looking at is what's happening to our industry. They found the number of U.S. financial advisors fell for the 5th straight year in 2015. The industry has lost more than 39,000 advisors, 12% of the advisors since 2008. In fact, they say nearly half of all advisors are over the age of 55, and they feel that over the next decade, Cerulli expects 100,000 more brokers to retire. So we have, we always tell people, like for Social Security and power of attorney, we say, listen, if you're incapacitated, are your bills going to go up or go down? If you're incapacitated, your bill's going to go up or go down? Go up. And if Social Security screws up and they don't send you your check, your income is going to go up or down. So at the very time you need more income, you're going to have less income. Same thing here. You got a double whammy. There's more and more people need help and less people to give them that help. So why do you think I told my son now was the time to get into this industry? It's going to become much easier to grow your business because more people, less competition. And what's going to happen 6 months from now, guys? Hey, Missy, can you get on the call?
Yep, I'm on.
You were at one of these big DOL meetings, and what you hear during the breaks from the guys? Oh, I can't wait for this DOL to roll out because I'm going to really grow my business. Is that what you were hearing? What were you hearing?
No, I heard a whole lot of people saying, you know what, maybe now is the time for me to just exit. I've done this for a long time. This might be the time when it's it's them telling me it's time for you to get out.
So that, so what we're seeing, we're going to see, I think the 100,000 is minimal. I think we're going to see a lot more people get out of the business because if all you're doing is hawking products, and what percentage of guys out there, all they do is sell products, guys? What percentage? Most, 99%. I would agree with that. I would agree with that because you know what, Jeff Freeberg, we've been doing this for 16 years coaching guys. How many guys have come onto the system? How many recruits have we talked to that were doing anything except selling products in the end?
Oh, very, very, very few. Hardly any.
Now, I've had... Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so you could count on one hand out of the thousands of people we talk to.
Yep.
Now, there's people that come on board and they say, oh, no, Mike, I help people with this after the fact. How do they get clients on? By selling them a product, and after they come on, then they help them with 2 or 3 of the 21 things that we do. Guys, getting people sold on why you're a better advisor, you have better investments, you have better products, and then helping them with 2 or 3 of the 21 things afterwards, is that really going to help you in today's world? And that's very few. That's 10% of the guys. Most guys just make a living by selling products, selling their software. So this is good news or bad news, guys. You are at the dawn of a new age. This is awesome. See, less is more. Less advisors means more for you. That's good news. The other good news is this. Life expectancy for 65-year-olds in the United States is doing what? Look at just in the last 14 years, it's gone up 2 years. In 14 years, it's gone 2 years. Why is that good news for us? Why is that good news for us? Because these people need to figure out that they need to manage it longer, and it's freaking them out because they know right now are people told that you should be planning for your money to last until you're 80, 85, 90, 95? What are people being told? How long should you manage your money? Or when you're managing money, how long should you plan on living? Yeah, age 100, age 90, age 100. Did we used to say that? When I first got in the business in 1989, what number was I giving people? Yeah, 20, 30 years, not 30, 40 years. So look at what's happened. And people realize this. They get this. They get that they're living longer because they're seeing their parents live longer. They're saying, holy cow, my money needs to last not till I'm 80, not till I'm 90. It needs to last till 90 plus. And how many of them are confident that they have the ability to do that themselves? Not many. The other thing is, look at the expenditure stage, what's happening to the expenditure stage keeps going up, 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 up. They know that they need us. They know that they need us. And during this accumulation stage, do they need us? This, from age 60 to 70, the ones that are still working, are they looking for help? Yeah, the reason being, why are they working from 60 to 70? Because they know they didn't save enough. That's why. They're healthy, sure, I get that, they're healthy, but they also know they didn't save enough. So they're looking for help to make sure they don't make the same mistakes they made during these earlier years, during that last 10 years. So we're at the right place at the right time. It's a good thing everybody's leaving. We would much rather them leave so there's more people for us to work with. And, is inflation going away anywhere? So we're living longer, and inflation keeps going up and up and up and up. So they understand this. They understand they need our help. Good news. Also, they're in the sandwich generation. They're caught in the middle. They're caught in the middle. See, middle-aged kids. In 1900, 39% of 50-year-olds had one parent alive. By 2000, 80% had one parent alive. What do you think it is today? More or less? Even higher. In 2000, 49% of 60-year-old kids had a surviving parent. In 1900, just 7%. See, we're in the sandwich generation. Now, how is this going to help us? The fact that the people we're trying to see, the people in their 60s and early 70s, having parents alive, why is that helping us? Now, you can get the parents' money, too, absolutely. In American society, most of the cost for caring the elders falls on the family. A woman loses an average of $120,000 in income not earned, plus $64,000 in lost Social Security benefits because of the help they provide for their parents. A man loses an average of $126,000 in income and $38,000 in Social Security benefits. So that means that the money they saved better do what? Better be working better, and can they afford losses? When they're losing already in income like this, can they afford for their investments to go down too? Yeah, cannot. And that's not even including the loss to their IRA contributions and the growth that those would go to. See, 60-year-olds are taking care of 80-year-olds, which is they understand that they're providing social care, health care, physical care, financial care. They're giving money to some of these places. People are giving money to their parents. And that doesn't even count the kids now that are living at home, making less, who need help. So again, it's certainly not great. Well, it is great news that they've got their parents longer. I don't know if it's great news that the kids are moving home. For some parents it is, some parents are not. But for us, it's great news. Why? This is making retiring more complicated or less complicated? And guys, when we sit down with them when we sit down with a 60-year-old and we show them the 21, what pops into their head? Hey, if I didn't take care of this, that would cause real problems for me. Wait a minute. I know where the real problem is, and what's that, guys? What's the real problem? Yeah, if their parents don't have these things done, where's all that, going to roll down to? Them. And if they don't take care of those things for their parents, and instead all those things are messed up when their parents need those things, how much work is that going to be for the children to help the parents dig out of that? Tons of work, Fred, exactly, tons of work. So this is good news that they get to keep their parents longer. Good or bad news, depending on how you look at it, the kids are living with you longer. But in the end, it's all good news for us because these challenges our increase, if we are a holistic planner, which we are with the 21, is our need going up or going down as far as retirees are thinking? Yeah, we're way more valuable, Steve. Way more valuable. Way up, exactly. So that's great news for us. Here's another good news. Guys, if I was to look at these years from 1980 to 2000, those look awfully what? 1980, those 20 years from 80 to 2000, they look awfully what? I wouldn't even say they look good. They look what? Impressive, Fred. That's what I would say. They look awesome. Now, somebody who doesn't even know what we're reporting here, we take all the numbers away, we take the titling off of this, and they look to the left and they look to the right. What are they going to say? Do you see more white here than you see here? Is there more white here than there is here? Do you see my mouse moving around? So is there more white to the above zero line on the right side or the left side? A little more white or a lot more white? Why is this occurring, guys? There's a multitude of reasons why it's becoming more and more difficult to get returns. What fueled this, guys? What fueled these returns from 1980 to 95? Well, tech, yep, tech was one thing. What else was fueling it? There are many reasons. Real estate was another reason. Now it's a big reason, Perry. Real estate was a huge reason. Why was real estate a huge reason? Way more than 401ks weren't happening here, guys. I hope you understand that 401ks weren't happening here. 401ks aren't happening here. Why were 401ks not happening here, guys? 401ks were babies here. It wasn't 401ks. Why were pensions? Yeah, there was pensions here. We're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. Real estate, what were people doing with their houses, guys? That's right, Jerry. They were using them as ATMs to invest in the market. They were using them as ATMs to remodel their houses. They were using them as ATMs to buy other properties. What was that doing to the stock market? Up and up and up. Is that ever going to happen again, guys? To the degree it was that happened. I mean, are they going to be able to give loans? Or, you know, if you ever saw the movie The Big Short, is a stripper down in Florida going to be able to buy 15 houses? So that was one. We had tech. We had people borrowing on credit cards on their house, etc. So this is fueled by debt. That is gonzo. The other thing, what's happening? Well, what's happening over here? Information. At this point, you know, we saw this a couple of weeks ago on a coaching call. We found out that what? How fast are inconsistencies in the market taken advantage of? Instantly, yeah. From the time a light goes from home plate, and if you turn on a flashlight, the time it takes from light to go from home plate to first base, that's nanoseconds. Nanoseconds. So the days of this are what? The other thing you were looking at is price-to-earnings ratios. The PEs, we're never going to see those kind of earnings the way we did before either. So this is good for us. Why? You can't simply put your money in the market and think it's going to go what? Up and up and up and up. That's great news for us. This is the biggest news. Back in those of you who said pensions, no, wasn't pensions here. No. Everybody, I'm sorry, it wasn't 401ks. Sorry, it wasn't 401ks here. No. Everybody here had pensions. Everybody here had pensions. See, look at what happened. So the red is 401ks. The blue is pensions. So what's happened to pensions? Down. What's happened to 401ks? Up, 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 up. So here's the thing. Oh, well, so you understand that very few people had very much money in 401ks in the 80s and 90s because they were relying on pensions. So they weren't putting a lot of money into 401ks. Here's another thing that's going to help us. It's not going to help society. It's going to help us. So this is the unfunded liability of pension plans. Unfunded actual liability. Guys, this is a ticking time bomb. This is a ticking time bomb. Not only are they going away, guess what? The people that have them, even for the people that have them, they're going to what? So these people that are retiring with pensions who think they're going to get the pension forever, what is it? Guys, for people that have pensions, what's going to happen? They think they're guaranteed, but they're not. They're going to be modified. That's a nice word, Steve, modified. Because what they think they're going to get ain't going to be what they're going to get. Because I don't care if it's written down on paper that they're going to get them. Guess what? If there's no money to give them, guess what? There's no money to give them. Has there been precedence for that even in the last 5 years? People with pensions had them reduced. Yes. Many, and it's going to get worse and worse. What percentage of pension plans are actually funded versus unfunded? Yeah, virtually none. Yeah, it's about 5, Fred. Virtually none. Not 40. Way less. Now, here's the great news. In 1999, 2000, I made $1 million in a very small marketplace. $1 million. Now, here's the thing. That was with teachers, nurses, and IBM engineers. Guess what all the teachers, nurses, and IBM engineers had? Pensions. So guess how much money they were putting into retirement? A lot or little? They're putting some money in there. But guys, my average ticket size was like $140,000. A huge case to me. My biggest case ever was $840,000. And I made $1 million a year because I was bringing on what? 60 clients a year. When you bring on 60 clients, guess what would happen to my income if I was only as good as I was back in I think I'm a little bit better than I was in the years 1999 and 2000. But let's say I was the exact same skill level as I was in 1999 and 2000. Guess how much money, I went back and looked at that. Guess how much money I would make? If I was only, more than double, close to triple. Because the amount of money people have, geez, if you got, see, 100,000 was big, it was a big ticket for me back then. That was a good ticket. 100,000 days is what? You get a ticket for 100,000 a day, you're like, what? If you find somebody with $100,000 to invest a day, you're like, that's small. That's not average, Dino. I feel sorry for you, Dino, if that's average. That's small. So if you had the skill level that I had in you don't need the skill level I have today. So, Missy, what would you say my skill level is today as compared to what it was back in 99, 2000? I mean, that's a hard call, 16 years, but...
You are so much better now. You were good before, but you are so much better now because you've just lived it more. You've practiced it more.
Which means, guys, if you were not nearly as good as me, you should be making how much? Now, I will tell you, guess what I did in 1997, 98, and 99? Guess what I did? When it came to meeting with clients, what did I do? Every single client went through a 21. That's right. Every single client meeting was taped. Every single night I listened to my tapes. Tapes. I got better. How many of you guys, if I was to bet, how many of you guys are putting near the effort into your practices that I put into mine? And if you say there's people that are doing that, I'm going to fly there, and if you're not, I'm going to slap you upside the head. I will fly there. I will pay and buy my own plane ticket. You find how many of you guys you think are putting that kind of effort, recording every single one of your meetings and listening to your meetings? How many of you guys are doing that? So if you're wondering why you're not making $2 million a year, there's your answer. Few, Keith, bullshit. How many are doing it? Because if you're not making $2 million a year, guess what? You ain't working on your product. And that's the sad thing. You can make a good living in this business. But all the good news I'm giving you today, guys, all the good news I'm giving you today, guess what? My double, triple of my income would go down 6 months from now because of DOL. I still double my income, even with lower commissions. But what would happen to the tripling? It would go. Guys, you need to be better at what you're doing. So just because all this demographics are going to help us, it means you got to be better at what you're doing. But if you're better at what you're doing, if you're great with the 21-point checklist, if you are taping your meetings and getting better with every single meeting, for 3 years, every meeting I had, I was better than the last. Every meeting I had, I was better than the last. That's the kind of work, effort, focus I put on my business. If you do that, you're in the right place at the right time. If you don't do that, guess what you're going to be? One of those 100,000 that what? Leaves. And all the people that do the work, they're just going to take your clients and say, thank you very much, sayonara. You're at the best place at the best time if you're willing to put the work into your business. The next thing, and here's the reason why, bad news, good news. So not only are we going to see commissions go down by, say, 20%, we've also got this to deal with, distrust. When asked if they could trust advisors, 60% of boomers said no. We live in the era of distrust. And that's why 5Q Group and the way we teach you with motivational interviewing and the tools that we give you where we show that we're not better, but that we're different and that we care, you're in the right place at the right time if you're willing to put the work in. And here's why. See, if I ask and Jeff, if you can get in here, Jeff, if I ask the people when they first came onto the system, or when they're out at producer training, when they're deciding whether they want to come on a 5Q or not, or if I went out into the general agent population and said, listen, if you're selling and the person you're selling, the person you're working with, the person you're trying to bring on as a client gets their kids involved, what's the likelihood? And you guys, well, before you answer, Jeff, let me hear you guys say, what do you think? If I went out to your buddies who aren't with 5Q and I said, hey, if your client brings their kid in to see what you're doing, is that a good thing or a bad thing? What are 100% of those people going to say? I got some people saying good. Okay, most of you are saying bad. Most of you get it. Really, those of you that are saying good, kids love it. They love it when you're in with their mom or dad and you're trying to sell them a product and the mom and dad are doing just fine where they're at. They think it's awesome that a financial advisor is in there trying to sell a product to their dad, their mom. Really? Those of you that say good, really? 90% of you are saying bad, but the ones that are saying good, really? So those of you that said good, I want you to re-answer that. Mark, really? So Mark, the kids get in there and they see that you're trying to sell them investments. When the parents are doing just fine right now, they think it's awesome that they should move. Really?
Well, I'll give you some. I get calls like this a lot. So here's the kind of, and I get it from guys that are with us now, and it's understandable, and I get it. But here's the kind of call that I get. So I get a call that says, hey, the client wants to bring in I'm meeting with these people, and I've taken them through a 21, but now they want to bring their kids in. What do I do? Well, the reason you're asking that is because you're nervous. You're worried that you're going to have to do something different because the kids are involved. Because your plan was to sell a product. But with the kids involved, you're not sure that's going to fly. So intuitively, you know, hey, I better call and get some advice here because this could blow up on me. So the reality is, I think the vast majority of you worry. If you've ever called and asked, what do I do because the kids are coming, you're one of those people that instinctively knows that that's probably not a good thing for me and what I've been doing. Give me some advice. How do I change what I did or change what I'm about to do in order to make this work? Because I think you know it wasn't going to work. I probably didn't quite go about that right. If you really weren't worried about the kids, you wouldn't call and ask that question because you'd know it's no worry.
Jeff did an awesome job. Jeff's under strict rules that if once I start getting worked up, he's supposed to jump in there to calm me down. So he did an awesome job. Everybody give him a little hand there. But what he said is absolutely right. Now here's the thing with the 21. And a couple of you said, "Oh, I thought you meant with the 21." You're right. So if you were thinking, no, we love the kids get involved with the 21. Yeah, when the kids got involved with the 21, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. That was a 100% closing. Why? Why was it 100% closing when the kids got involved when I was doing a 21? Yeah, it takes the pressure off of them, Craig. No, it's not that I showed that I cared. No, it has nothing to do with showing that I care. They're looking out for. See, how many of the kids really want to manage the mom and dad's money? None of them. But they did want to make sure they weren't getting taken advantage of. So I guess it would be show that you care. But here's the real thing. They're saying, holy cow, mom and dad doesn't have any of this stuff done? And if they don't want to manage the person's money, do they really want to help mom and dad get all these things done? They know mom and dad need to get these things done, but do they want to be the ones that help mom and dad get these things done? No. And here you are saying, I'm going to help your parents with all these things. And they're saying, mom and dad, you need to work with them. Because they know, if mom and dad don't take care of these things and they don't help mom and dad take care of these things, what's going to happen when these things start happening? Who are mom and dad going to come to for help? That's right, Steve. It's going to land on the kids. So you have a 100% chance of getting I love it. I would insist that they bring their kids in on it. Because it's a 100% closing ratio when you have the kids. But you know what? Prior to that, I know when I sold products, before I started this whole process, I would sweat when the kids got involved because I knew, oh, we're done. It's going to be a battle because the only thing that the kids are going to say is, Mom and Dad, you don't need to do this. All you're trying to do is sell you things. Here, let me show you on Google. Well, that was even before Google, but when I was selling. Now, here's the thing. That's terrific for us. Why? Going forward, why is that terrific for us? One thing that they have found with the DOL is what? How is the DOL going to be enforced? By the IRS. That's the only, because DOL can't enforce these rules. So the IRS is the only entity that can enforce these rules. And guess what the IRS said? We're not enforcing these rules. We can't even do our job. We're not enforcing these rules. So how are they going to be enforced? How are the DOL rules going to be enforced? In court, exactly. Now here's the thing. I've talked to many people that have gotten complaints about them. And where does the complaint always come from? Where do the complaints always come from? 99% of it, the kids. The kids. So why is it awesome what we're doing with the 21? Because the kids love us. Also, if you're ever yanked into court and you have a tape, for those of you that aren't taping, you're nuts. If you have a tape of the client saying, going through the whole process for the whole 21, guess what? What's going to happen to that court case? Done, exactly. So guys, are you at the right place or are you at the wrong place right now? With the 5Q system, are you at the dawn of a new age or are you at the sunset of a new age? Dudes, you're at the right place at the right time. Because what you're going to do is take client after client after client. There's all sorts of people who are going to lose their, and here's the great thing. all those 100,000 that are getting out of the business, are they going to be able to sell their practices? Nope. So there's going to be tons of people. Not only are there, as Perry pointed out, 10,000 new boomers retiring every single day, not a month, every day. We also have people who are already retired, have their advisors leaving. You are at the right place at the right time. Dudes, if you're not learning the 21, and if you're not recording every single thing that you're doing, and you're not mastering this, you are nuts. You are in a position where you could set yourself up for life. And you talk about somebody who's mentioning succession for our clients. You could create a succession for your loved ones by creating a practice that is unbelievable. So you're at the right place, right time. Get your hiney in gear and learn the 21. And quit just poking around. Quit making it a hobby. Dudes, learn it backwards, forwards. Not till you can do it right, but till you can't do it wrong. So what would you add to that, Jeff, before I start to get wound up here?
Well, here's what I would say. It really is, for all the reasons that Mike talked about, the dawn of a boom for us. I mean, when you think about it, there's more people moving into our market, so our market is growing at the same time that life for these people is more complicated and the markets are more volatile. So they need us more than ever. And because life is more complicated and the markets are more volatile, even for people that are prepared for a retirement, their retirement is barely funded. And they know that, so they're looking for help. That's why it's a great time to be coming into this business. Now, the thing is, sometimes it can feel like it's a sunset. And it can feel like we're under siege because we've dealt with them trying to take away commissions and going to a fee-based model exclusively. That got killed, but then we had to deal with 151A, where they wanted to make indexed annuity securities. And that got kind of taken care of, but now we have the DOL. Here's the reality, guys. The industry is trying to get rid of salespeople. They think salespeople are a curse on the industry. They don't want salespeople in the industry. We're going to see rule after rule after rule until they feel like they've flushed out salespeople. And so if you're a salesperson, I can understand where it would feel like a sunset because salespeople are under siege. And if you just insist on going forward into this new world that starts in April and saying, I'm just going to be a salesperson and come what may, yeah, the sun's going to set on you. And that's sad, but that's the reality. We just have to deal with it. But everybody on this call doesn't have to worry about that if they embrace the 21. Because you know what? The kids love the 21. The regulators love the 21. So if you embrace that, you're set going forward. You don't have to worry about DOL or anything else that comes down the pipe because you're not the salespeople that they're trying to get rid of. And not only do you not have to worry about any of that, you're going forward into a future where your market is going to grow and they're going to need you more because they have more complicated situations. And like Mike said, you can't just put your money in the market and assume that everything's going to be okay. And they know that. So we have more people to work with more desire to work with us. And as long as we're not salespeople, not only will we be fine, we'll be better than ever. But yeah, if you're a salesperson, yeah, the sun is going to set on you. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. You guys don't have to worry about it because you have the 21. Everybody else has to worry about what they're going to do going forward to not look like a salesperson. And quite frankly, it's not just that we want to stop looking like salespeople. We need to stop being salespeople.
So guys, I hope this, all this stuff that's in the papers about the demise of the industry because of DOL, just as Jeff said, I agree with that because the industry, 99% of them are what? Salespeople. So it is going to be their demise. We're happy as can be. We want all those salespeople out so we can take care of people. So I hope so ignore all that crap that's in the newspapers, or at least celebrate all the crap in the newspapers and all the journals because, yeah, there is going to be a huge change for those people that all they do is sell stocks, sell bonds, sell fixed index annuities. Hallelujah. We'll take their clients all day long. Thanks, everybody. You have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you all on Friday. Thanks.